Hey, Lee Mainprize from the Have It All Man. And what I want to focus on today is how do we get ourselves into that position of being a man of passion, power, and purpose? Now, a lot of it is a bit like imagine an aeroplane sat on the runway, and various things happen to us in life. They drag us down, we lose belief, we have programs, we have scripts, we have beliefs that are ingrained in us from childhood that might not be serving us and preventing us to, living our life to the highest level that we can. So what I'm going to take you through is basically how do we get that aeroplane, that big thing, up into the air. So, it takes that throttle, it takes that effort to get in the air. But once it's in the air, then becomes much easier to operate and maintain at that level. So it does really require some thrust to do that, like getting in shape. Imagine if you've never worked out, you've gained a lot of weight and you get into the gym. It takes some effort and some consistency, changing your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits to really push through to create lasting change. Because the patterns that have been created before, they're always going to want to pull you back to be back into that zone again. And typically through personal development, I've got books and books of great material, but the problem with a lot of it was they're nice concepts, but if you think back, how many of these books have you read, even great books, that you go back and think, well, yeah, that was a great book, but what am I actually using from that book? How am I actually applying that? Because most of the information, if it's not turned into a habit or a ritual, then it just gets lost. So in essence, it just becomes a little bit of a waste of time. So I got a little bit frustrated with the lack of results I was getting in life, and I really wanted that change. So I went on a journey of self-discovery to really find out how could I have it all and create a life of a meaningful life of passion, power, and purpose. So let's have a look. So imagine here, I've got on this circles here. So you see the inner circle. Imagine this here, this inner bullseye. This is the sweet spot. We could call this the flow zone, where we're in our power. You can all think back to a moment where everything was easy. It was effortless. Things were just flowing. You felt good. You weren't stressed. You were proactive. You were motivated. All those things. We can all think of moments in our lives, but sometimes those moments might have been quite fleeting. And we get taken off our game by life's challenges, lack of motivation, curveballs in life that hit us. So if we imagine this is the sweet spot, and we imagine the blue circle operating within the blue circle outside, we can imagine that's the good zone. Then if we go out to this, let's imagine the green zone is the mediocre zone. And then outside of that, the dashes, sorry, I couldn't find the black pen. Well, I did actually find it, but my kids have been messing with it and it's gone dry, so I had to be limited to colours today. So we'll survive though. But so imagine this outer space is the chaos. This is where we're lost. This is where we feel it difficult to drag ourselves out of bed. We don't have any purpose. We feel empty. We feel unfulfilled. We feel lost. So this is a really good visual way, because what we want to be doing is, and with the Have It All Man system that I've created, is by a series of scientific ways of doing things and rituals, we can stay pretty much within this sweet spot as much as possible without leaving it to a chance to outside sources, and we can really create a strong foundation and frame of power. Now, when we have power and we own ourselves, then we can start developing purpose, because we start to know what we want, and we start to connect with our passion by being more in tune with our heart and external influences in the mind. So how do we access our power? Our power comes through changing our patterns, our beliefs, and our programs. These were all things that were created in childhood, and you might have been asked to wear a specific mask to fit in, to feel loved. And as you get older, generally there's a missing part of ourselves, which we call the shadow, or it can be called the little boy. Now, this is what has kept us safe so far, but it's what's going to stop us. It's going to put us in fear. It's going to make us be a people pleaser, be in our head. We're not going to be owning ourselves. We're going to be literally blowing around with the wind and feeling pretty lost and vulnerable to everything that happens to us. So it doesn't really matter what created these thought patterns and beliefs. The great thing is the mind is like plastic and it can be molded. It's going to take some work to send new beliefs, patterns and frameworks to the mind, but it can be done. So this is the great thing, to put ourselves in the position of power. So the first thing is, who are we? So we need to reframe who we are and focusing on what we are, not what we're not. And if we think about an athlete, you know, an athlete to put a performance in, to change his beliefs, there's certain rituals he does in his training to create that. It's not going to happen over sort of, you know, a few days, especially if we've been living like I was. Some of my patterns and not feeling good enough really hindered me. So these really take some heave to get that plane in the air to be able to change these. So how we do that is we focus on who we are, not who we're not. So we can do that through daily rituals. The first thing is we can use affirmations. We can focus on positive affirmations on who we are rather than who we're not. Repeating those, you can use an app called Think Up, or you can just write those down and you can repeat them. Be empowered in front of the mirror. You can look at your goals, write goals down. You can look and visualize those about what you want, focusing on what you want rather than what you don't want. And you can create this by your thoughts in your mind, what you visualize on, what you think. You can write about it, you can journal it, you can say it out loud, you can read your goals, your targets. These are all daily rituals which will put you in a more powerful position as a person. Again, takes that training and that repetition. The other thing you can do is having a powerful morning ritual, which again gets you in a powerful state for that day. So I call it my flow system. This gets me in this space here where I feel energized, I feel clarity, I feel productive, and I feel in my power. So the flow is basically 4 things. So the flow stands for fitness, love, oneness, and wealth. So basically the fitness, we would work out in the morning. The love, we would make a deposit to a relationship with a message or another nice gesture to add to that. Oneness, we will meditate to create that clarity in our mind. And then wealth, we will focus on expanding our knowledge within business, sales, or marketing for around about 20 minutes. So I spend the first hour and a half, 2 hours a day on me. No phone, no nothing. This puts me in the power. So once we have these habits and rituals that we're doing daily, what this does, and you know, during the day, the other things I'll do, I can set reminders on my phone, 3 reminders of, you know, my most powerful affirmations, who I am in my power. So they're reminding me, they're reinforcing that message going in. And the other thing as well is we can look at our goals later on in the day as well. So you can spend time visualizing. It's what I call working on your inner game. So all these things strengthen and send signals to keep us in our power and in that sweet spot. So to recap, what we do is to be in our power, access our power. When we're in our power, the passion and the purpose will start to show up for us and reveal itself, because we're going to be in that flow state rather than being low energy, chaos in the mind, and, you know, being reactive to situations. So we can get in our power by changing our patterns, beliefs, and programs. We can have daily rituals. We can have a strong morning routine, which puts us in our power. We can use affirmations. We can set targets and goals. We can look at those. And this is all firing to create that. So this is how we would stay in this sweet spot. This is what I call how I created the Have It All Man, because of years of, you know, having success, but it coming at a lot of costs and sacrifice. So this was a way of pinpointing this down, which really works for me, and it's working now for lots of other men since I've set this up and started this running. So this is the system: how we access our power and purpose and passion as a man in life.